Here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Check the From the Shore to Be More show. Coming through strong with that podcast flow. Sunday afternoon at 2 to 3 p.m. slot. Got the Interstate 95 Turnpike hot. When you tune in, they don't just entertain. They come with the message that presses the brain. Those other podcasts, they seem microscopic. Cause they're the big dogs that drop the hot topics. So sure, be more young, you just stay ready. For DJ Boom, Shaheem, and Montgomery. Put them together, there's a treacherous string. From the tri-state area to the DMV. So sit back, relax, get your Sundays on. On after morning, gone before dawn. That positive vibe that we hitting so strong. With this podcast show, you can't go wrong. So, here we go, here we go. 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 What's up, everybody?
Yeah, we out there, we out shit.
And welcome back to another episode of From the Shore to Be More. I am one of your hosts, media personality, singer, songwriter, Shaheem.
The one and only, and of course, you got the official DJ Boom here in the building, making it do what it do, right along with you. I can't say with you too right now because our co-host is not here yet. So, right along with you.
Right. And usually we're with on Debbie, but she's not with us today. And we are the treacherous three of the tri-state area and the DMV. Ya heard? And it's good. Great even to see everybody, all of you, back with us for another episode. We have a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in.
Right.
Today.
Before y'all try to get on the bed in the car, there's a lot that happened over the weekend. So yes, I'm making my way home, and I will be sitting still shortly. So, but I can't miss the show. So I'm here.
Yeah, there has been a lot going on with the Singletary family. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But welcome everybody to another episode. We got a great topic today, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about the stigma behind therapy, ladies and gentlemen. Therapy. I think that is a fantastic. We all thought that was a great topic, and we're going to be discussing that with our favorite co-host who fills in for Aunt Debbie, Miss Beverly Brown, is going to be with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, 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 woo,
Absolutely.
woo, woo.
The Arsenio.
Right. So yeah, we looking forward to that, right, Boom?
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have Beverly on the show.
Yes, it is. And before we get into that, I have to also discuss last week's show, everybody. Last week, are you a product of conditioning? That was a fantastic conversation, everybody. So if you missed it, we all encourage you to go back to our YouTube channel and you can catch that and all of the episodes that you might have missed from the show to be more, ladies and gentlemen. And we also encourage you to please don't forget to subscribe and please tell a friend we out here, right, Boom?
Absolutely. Speaking of that, I did tell a friend that I have a podcast, so we have a new viewer. I don't know if she'll comment or not, but Jasmine is one of our newest viewers, subscribers to the show. So welcome, Jasmine. Thank you for the 5-star like of the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. Welcome to the From the Shore to Be More family. We appreciate you. And big shout out to all our Facebook viewers. I gotta big them up. We get so many views on Facebook, so I gotta big up all you guys. Thanks for watching and supporting the show. Thank you very much, everybody. That being said, before we jump into everything, I want to say hi to my mom. Hey, Mom. I managed to get my mom out. My mom doesn't get out as often as she would like these days, ladies and gentlemen, but we managed to get out for a beautiful lunch, dinner thing yesterday with the family, and that was fantastic. I don't have any pictures, but I definitely want to shout out my mom, who's probably watching right now. So, hey, Mom, thanks for coming out with us yesterday. I really appreciate that. Also, I want to send my condolences again to you, Boom, and the Singletary family for your loss. I'm very sad to hear that, Boom, as you know.
Thank you.
And I know you and the family been getting together all weekend. I should have had some pictures. I know y'all been posting pictures, and I know Debbie was in some of the pictures. But yeah, I know that your family was. Is that where you're coming from now?
Yeah. I'll actually post a picture right now. One of the ones I wanted to take.
Mm-hmm.
If we took so many, you know what? I'm gonna do that one. I'm gonna do that one. I'll do that one. I'll
Yeah, and
add
please be
those. And
careful while you're doing what you're doing, Boom. Because I can see that you're
I'm a,
driving.
yeah, I'm a professional at this. So kids,
Okay,
don't try this at home.
okay,
Kids, don't
okay,
try this at home.
okay. Did you manage to get them?
Yeah, they're loading up right now. All right, so we got
Okay.
this one is you recognize those two folks. That's
That's
Fudge
Brian.
and yes, that's Uncle Brian.
Hey,
So that's
Brian.
one of our main viewers of the show, Brian, with my two sisters.
And Tawanda. And for Jay, I
Uh,
know Tawanda watches the show all the time. Hey, Tawanda.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we got
Wow, that's beautiful. That's
the
beautiful.
whole crew up in there.
I think I see on Inez. I see on Debbie in the back there, of course.
Yep,
So that's
yep.
beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Joshua and Ralph and Nicole, his wife, and Michael, Tawanda, and we got my cousins. Fortunately, my cousin they lost their brother. They're in the picture.
Mm, mm.
And this is one of my favorites. This is the picture I always wanted to get. So this is Aunt Wanda,
Oh, Wanda, I see. Yeah, okay. Shout out to Aunt Wanda.
Sharonda, Debbie,
Right.
Fudge, Tawanda, and Inez and Tawanda. So
Yeah, and
those are
Tawanda, right.
my dad's three sisters and my three sisters in the order, from oldest to youngest.
That is really cute, man. That is really cute.
So I
That's
always
a
wanted
great
to
picture.
take that picture, and I finally got a chance to take it. But that was some of the festivities, and the happenings over the weekend with my
Great.
cousin Fareed passing away.
Right, right. It's a sad thing, but I'm happy to see that your family got the time to spend together, which is always a good thing. Unfortunately, under those circumstances. Shout out to Aunt Debbie. Like I said, I saw her in all the pictures, and on Inez, who's on the show from time to time too, and on
Hmm.
Wanda, who watches the show all the time, and everybody. Shout out to the whole Singletary family. How about that? All right, guys, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. Happy birthday to all of you Aries that are still celebrating your birthday either today, any upcoming week, or the past week. We want to celebrate your birthdays with you, of course. Still Aries
Absolutely.
season.
Absolutely. The number one is still on deck.
The number one is still on deck. Okay. Well, let me ask you, number one, do you have any personal birthdays that you'd like to shout out today, sir?
Absolutely. I have to shout out my kid's uncle, who I call brother. Some of them call something else. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to confuse folks on the show.
Okay.
James Williams is celebrating. He's celebrating his birthday on Friday. Oh no, yeah, Friday, April 11th. So shout out to
April
little
11th.
bro James.
All right. Shout out to Jay.
All of them, him, Randy, and PK, all 45 years old this year, man. It's crazy.
Get out of here.
Man, it's nuts, right?
It is nuts. It is nuts. I mean, it's crazy how fast it seems that time
Absolutely
flies.
nuts.
Well, happy birthday, James.
Right. And I got to shout out my brother-in-law, Mr. Michael Dupuy. His
Yeah,
birthday
what's
is
up, Mike?
today. Shout out to my brother-in-law celebrating his birthday.
Yes, sir.
Having a good time. I'm sure. I think he had to work today, so right now he's at work, but we'll see what's happening later. Sis and she was going to do something, so we'll see what's happening later
Right. And I'm
if they
sure
actually
she
going to get
is.
together for his birthday or not.
Yes.
One of the best brothers I can have right now. So shout out to Michael Dupuy. Happy birthday, bro.
Yes, sir. Definitely a one of a kind guy. I definitely like Mike. So happy birthday, Mike. That's it. That's all you got, Boom. I got a couple.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
All right, but before I jump into mine, I want to say hello to our co-host today. Hey, babe.
Hey! Glad to be here. Glad to be here always.
We just keep on
Hey.
bothering you. We just keep
I
on
love
bothering you.
I thank you for your invitation. It's like having family dinner where you have these conversations, that you don't have no place else.
Thank you so very much. And we definitely, the both of us, all of us, appreciate the fact that you are so willing to jump in and fill in when we call you. So thank you so very much. And it's good to see you again.
It is good to be here. It is good to be here.
I'm sure you see we're in a birthday segment. You have anybody you need to shout out?
I got a niece, Shoshana Leah. I want to give shouts out to. I got a sister, she married now, but I don't know her last name.
Okay. All right.
Melissa Willie, I want to give shout out to. I want to give a shout out to the father of my 3 children, Vincent Brown.
All right.
Thank him for his gifts of love.
All right.
That's it for me. Those are the people that were on my list. Oh, I think I got another niece, Shaquana. Her birthday is this month. I'm not even sure what day.
You almost forgot.
Yeah, I got a daughter who does the birthday duty. She calls me and says so-and-so's birthday today.
Yeah, I got people helping me out too. Trust me, Bev. So I understand it 100%. I get it 100%. All right. Well, if it's my turn, there are some people that I want to shout out today. I want to shout out first. It's my sister's birthday today on the 13th. Carla, my stepsister Carla. I want to shout her out. Most definitely. So happy birthday. I hope you're enjoying your day. And I know you're probably going to catch a show at some time. So happy birthday to you. But most importantly and dearest to my heart, I want to shout out my sister who is in heaven right now. And that's my sister Erica, ladies and gentlemen, passed away some years ago. But man, never forgotten. I promise you, never, ever, ever forgotten. You know what I mean? Just give me a second, because this was her favorite song, everybody. It just puts me in another place.
Off of my mind, but I can't. Just the thought of you turns my whole world misty blue.
Misty blue. I'm not gonna cry, y'all. I'm fighting it back.
And it's okay if you do.
Thank you so. That's why we love having you on the show.
No, I'm
Happy
gonna
birthday,
laugh at it. I'm gonna laugh at him. So
Happy birthday and heaven again to my sister. Everybody.
Absolutely, cons. Never, ever, ever, ever will she be forgotten. One of my favorites.
Yeah. All right, before I get choked up, let's just go ahead and move into some celebrities. I have a couple of celebrities I want to shout out everybody. A couple of Aries that I want to shout out. Let's start with this young lady here, the brat, everybody. Shawntae Harris is her real name, everybody. And April 14th, tomorrow, is her birthday. And coming up, I got to shout this guy out here because I just love him so much. Coming up on the 16th is Martin Lawrence's birthday, everybody. Good old Marty Marr. So we want to shout him out for sure. And to keep the ball rolling, I want to shout out this guy here. Love and happiness. If you don't know, I can guarantee your grandma know. Al Green, everybody. April 13th. Today is Al's birthday, everybody. So you know good and well I had to shout him out. So happy birthday to him, boy. Ooh,
Happy birthday.
one of the greats. If you don't know, you need to know. I'm just going to say that. Two more, and we're going to keep the ball rolling. I'm going to shout out this guy, too. Whatever you want, baby. Mr. Whip Appeal himself. Babyface. Babyface. Actually, his birthday passed. April 10th was his birthday. But he was my favorite. And trust me when I tell you, there was a lot of babies made to this guy's music. So happy birthday to Babyface. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Stop acting like you don't know. All right. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to New York Soul.
Sitting back with this mic in my hand, spitting hot shit, trying to see grams. On my mind every minute.
Everybody.
Make my plans and you always in it, y'all. It's such a vibrant thing.
Vibrant thing.
Vibrant
thing. Shout out to Q-Tip, everybody. And that's my celebrity birthdays. Hope you enjoyed that, everybody. And listen, the three of us, all of us, want to say to all of you guys out there that if you are celebrating a birthday or having a celebration of any kind this spring or this upcoming summer, there is a way that you can include us in the festivities, everybody.
To level up your birthday party or any celebration, you need to call Shush Entertainment for your silent disco party experience, hosted by our own DJ Boom. Looking for that special gift? Look no further than daisytrades.com for a custom image 3-piece set for that special someone in your life. Or, if you're interested in an astrological reading, contact business carriers to find out how the stars are lining up for you.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Contact vision carriers, everybody. And I must also remind you that our dear Aunt Debbie is an ordained minister, and she can get you hitched this spring if that's what you guys are interested in doing. All right? And while you guys are doing that, we are going to be continuing the show with this.
You know, I guess right now we should start the show.
Must-see TV and movies. One of my favorite things to do on the show, because I like to see what you guys are watching out there. Please comment on the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. What have you guys been watching lately?
All right. As you know, I'm about 75 years behind in my TV watching. But I've been watching Watson.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Loving it. I am loving it. I love the intensity of it. I love that it does not feel like a medical movie. It always makes you think you're right on the cusp of a murder, and then it brings you back to the hospital.
Okay.
So I'm loving it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because my wife that's with Morris Chestnut.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah, I like Morris. I think he's one of the more most handsome guys in Hollywood right now. That's just my opinion. But my wife's been also.
I agree with you.
I thought you might. And my wife's been watching it, and she's been enjoying it as well. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Watching, I haven't seen it personally. I think I saw one episode, and the episode I did see was pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on what you're saying and co-sign and say, yeah, it is good, and go ahead and check that out, ladies and gentlemen.
It's got real depth to it, and I think I like smart TV. Like
exactly, I think that's what it is.
I think it's smart TV.
I think that's exact. That reality TV, I can't get into that, but something that can make me think, I actually might sit down and watch. I think I co-sign with you on that. How about you?
Oh, I definitely can't do reality TV unless it's my show. If it's my show, then I can watch it. But If it's not my show, I don't want to watch
I,
it.
I'm with you on that. I got enough now. I can make sure.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
hearing
yeah.
for so long that I need to do a reality TV show, and I don't know why specifically me, but I've been hearing it for the last few
Mm.
years that I need to do a reality TV show, and I don't know. I just might. I just may let the
Give it
cameras
a shot.
into my
You never
life
know.
and see where it takes me. But we'll see. But the reality TV, I just can't do. It hurts my brain.
Absolutely not. Can't do. No, 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 no. But what have you been watching?
This week I haven't been able to really watch anything. I've
I
been
can
dealing
imagine.
with super congestion, so in and out of sleep. And
Oh.
then I just been out working, running around. I haven't really been able to watch. I mean, one of my favorite shows to watch is Abbott Elementary. Now I watch Abbott Elementary. I watch The
Shout
Rookie.
out to Abbott Elementary for sure. I
Right.
love
I
watching
watch.
I've heard a lot of good
Right.
things about that one too.
I watch Will Trent.
My
Um,
wife watches Will Trent all the time. She records the episodes, everything.
there's no need to record it. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
There's
is
no
on
need to
Hulu.
record it.
It is on
But
Hulu.
yeah, I watch all of those shows, and I love when the days go by and I can
Hmm.
sit and watch each and every one of them back to back to back to back. I do enjoy that. So
Wow.
those three shows, Will Trent, uh, of course, Abbott Elementary, and The Rookie, I would say are great
Okay.
shows to watch if you like to binge watch shows. And 911, that's my other one. I was going to
All
say
the
I
ones my
love
wife watches.
911.
All the ones
Yes.
my wife watches. Okay. All
Yes. So
right.
put me on the chick flick list.
Uh, whatever works. Wherever you find your
Right.
entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you find your entertainment, I'm not gonna judge.
I'm here for it.
There you go. There you go. I saw a couple things that I thought were interesting this week. First, I want to say this one. This one right here. I saw on Prime. The Studio. I don't know if everybody can see that. The Studio was the name of the show, everybody. And that's on. I saw it on Prime. They're allowing the first episode on Prime, but it's actually on Apple TV, everybody. I thought that was hilarious. It was about
And it's,
these guys running a movie studio and the things that happen behind the scene. Because I saw them also do an interview on TV, and they said some of these things actually happen in Hollywood, and I thought it was hilarious, everybody. So go check that out if you get the chance. That was one. Also, I saw this, everybody, and that's G20 with Viola Davis, everybody. I happened to catch this yesterday, me and my wife. What were you gonna say, Bev?
I can't handle these supersonic women.
Okay, that's
I
coming
know
from
I
a
just
woman.
opened myself up for a lot of complaints.
That's a woman saying that.
But can I blame it on my age? Am I old enough to blame it on my age? It's just nah, and that,
No.
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And I was going to tell our audience, just be polite with your comments, everybody. And I'm going to say this. I did see it with my wife yesterday. My wife full on enjoyed it. My opinion of the whole thing was I love Viola Davis. I think she's a fantastic actress, but I could not see her in the whole action hero role, everybody. I don't want to spoil the movie for everybody, but she's practically a superhero like this. I mean, come on, it's Viola Davis. She's a very dramatic actress, a serious actress. I just couldn't feel her in that role, and for that reason, myself, I just could not get into it like that, everybody. But my wife
so,
enjoyed
so how many turntables we giving it?
it. Me or my
Hmm.
wife?
You.
Me, I would give it two. That's just me. Like I said, I just couldn't see this well-known dramatic actress in the whole action hero role. It just wasn't. I wasn't buying it, and so that's just me. That's just me. But for those who are interested in it, go ahead and check it out. We saw it on Prime, everybody.
I personally don't like when they put uh actors and actresses that are known like that as superheroes. I really don't like that. I would
Yeah.
rather you get an unknown because it leaks to the fantasy of
Hmm.
that could be a real thing. We all know Viola
Hmm.
Davis. is not a ding dang super. You know what I mean? We know she not. So it
No,
takes away from the
no,
fantasy part of it to me. So I never
no.
liked like when Holly Berry played Storm. I was like, oh no, you should have got some other black woman
Well,
to play
not only is
Storm.
she
Like,
a serious actress, but she's an older actress. No disrespect to the mature women,
Thank you.
but she's not Zoe Zaldona, who's young and still did her own stunts. It was pretty obvious, and shout out to my wife. It was a great movie, and it was pretty obvious that this mature woman could not do these things that she's trying that they're showing her do in this movie. And so, yeah, I couldn't buy it. That's just me. Go
right,
check it out, everybody.
right.
Make your own
I get it.
opinions.
I get it. I truly
Get
get
it?
it. I do.
There you go, everybody. Those are our picks. Comment on the show. You tell us what you think about all our picks, or tell us what you like to watch, everybody. We're interested. How about that? Now, if you have topics, show ideas that you think that our beautiful, wonderful family audience would love, or if you are a business that is interested in supporting the show, you can get in contact with us. To contact us, you can reach us on our YouTube channel, where you can comment, join the show, and please don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch, like, and comment, join the show on our social media pages. Our Facebook or Instagram is at From the Shore to Be More. Our Twitter or X is at 2_Be More. And our email is fromtheshore@gmail.com. You can also call the show at 732-455-2503. If no one answers, please leave a message and someone from the show will get back to you. And please, tell a friend. Tell a friend, everybody. We are here for you. There you go, everybody. All right. Thanks to our audience for waiting so patiently, but it's time for us to jump into today's topic. The stigma behind therapy, everybody. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't think I have to explain it. When it comes to seeking help through therapy or counseling, there is a stigma, I think we can all agree, out there, especially in our community, that prevents people from maybe seeking the help that they need. This is just a negative impact all around. Now, me, myself, being me, of course, I looked up some of the things that lead to this stigma. And I found 7 things, and I'm going to put them out there. And please, everybody out there watching, we encourage you to comment on the show. And I'm going to put them out there, and I want my co-host to jump in on them, and we're going to talk all about this. How about that? All right? I'm going to start with the first one. The first one I found was misconception. The whole misconception about therapy, ladies and gentlemen. That was the first one that I found. The second one was lack of understanding. That was another one.
That attributes to not knowing what therapy actually is.
Okay. All right. I think I agree with that.
Oh,
It is not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I was just gonna say I agree with both of those. I think with
Mhm.
therapy, I can only speak for myself.
Go ahead.
Um, feeling like you're good, feeling like you're okay. And then somebody say you need a therapist, or you should get a therapist, because TV. Once again, you talk about conditions like we talked about last week. Because TV or somebody else makes you think therapy is for people that are mentally ill, and so because you don't see yourself as mentally ill, somebody say therapist to you, you're like, what you mean? What you mean I need a therapist? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So having that ignorance about therapy, I think contributes to the misconception of therapy, you
Yeah,
know.
the misconception and the lack of understanding, especially in our community. We don't have access like a lot of other communities do to these type of doctors. And so there's not someone in our friend group, in our family necessarily, or whatever, to say to you that it's okay, or to explain to you or give you an idea of what it's all about. You know what I mean? And so there is a lack of understanding and a misconception about what might be happening.
There's also this one, and this was number 3 for me. And we're gonna talk about a lot of this historical content, and especially in our community. I think that's a big one. That's a very, very big one. Often viewed as failing or supernatural causes further fueling the stigma. There's a certain community out there who, well, first of all, let me go to here. The historical mistrust that our community have with doctors, period. Our community, as we all know, have been tested on secretly and experimented on secretly by these very same doctors. And so throughout our history, we developed a mistrust for doctors, period. These guys wearing these white coats. Wouldn't you say?
I would.
Yeah,
I would
yeah, for
totally
sure.
agree on that. But what I
Absolutely.
also say culturally
Mm-hmm.
is that even when we didn't go to doctors, we had systems
Of
in the
support,
periods
you
where we
mean?
were less educated. We had systems set in place to help us deal with the traumatic issues that we were facing. So it was
We
never
definitely
that there was nothing there.
right,
What was there had a different name. It showed up in a different way,
right.
and we related to it differently.
I would agree
Right.
with that. I think one of the biggest things in our community, when we look back on our history, was the fact that we get through it together. We all sharing the pain, and so I think that was one of the things that helped us get through those turbulent times and kept us mentally fit
Can
enough
I
to get
share
through
with
those
you
things.
a thing that I learned in my training?
Sure.
In my training as a trauma therapist, thing called the trauma shake. A trauma happens, the energy expenditure is so large that your body can't handle it. So the
Ooh.
energy goes out of your body and it literally causes your body to shake.
Woof, I'm shaking
Well,
now.
I remember that experience from being a Pentecostal girl when we used to come into the church and we would be in the presence of the Lord and the Spirit would descend on people and they would just shake.
Okay.
It took me 20, 30 years to get back to understanding that is the completion of the trauma cycle. Literally. That's why I say we knew things. We didn't have language to talk about. But that was the completion of the trauma cycle. The trauma physically moved through your body. So even though we didn't know what was happening, we were having the experiences of healing. The lady said, I went to the church one night and my heart wasn't right. And something got a hold of me. So we didn't have the language, but we were having the healing experiences.
All right now. Okay. Thanks for that, for sure. Also another thing that contributes to the stigma that I found in number 4 on my list was media representation of therapy.
I ain't gonna tell you how I feel about that one.
Well, here's what it says: misrepresentations in social and mainstream media can perpetuate negative perceptions of therapy and mental health. Especially when you see someone, whether it be in social media or any kind of media, being chastised for seeking that kind of help. It'll stick with you. Go ahead.
You see something that didn't exist. Do you know how long it was before we had a media presence of a black serial killer?
Ooh, what do you mean?
They didn't stop till they got one. What's the guy from England's name? What was his name?
Black serial killer?
Huh?
A black serial killer?
There's only
I'm
one.
not sure. England?
There's a black. His name is he's a star. Ebba. EBBA. What's his name?
Ooh, I don't know. You know, Boom, because I don't know black serial killers. The only ones I know are white ones, unfortunately.
No, I know. Well, yeah, you had one that was here that terrorized the DC area.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about that guy?
No, we're talking about actors because we
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
one on TV for many, many years.
Oh, you talking about on television?
Yes.
Okay. Are you talking about the real
I
handsome guy?
I'm not IBRIS. What is his name?
My wife knows his name. I can guarantee you.
Oh, Idris.
Yes.
Idris. Okay.
Idris Elba.
Thank
They
you.
gave us Idris. We fell in love with him. And what did they do as soon as we fell in love with him? They made him a serial killer.
Oh, I got what you're saying now.
You
I
see
didn't
what
even
I'm
know he played a
saying?
serial killer.
Yeah, as soon as we fell in love with him, he became one of the most known black serial killers.
Yeah, I hate that guy because my wife loves him too much. How
I
about
love
that?
him too. I hate that I had to let him go. I hate that I had to let him go, but I couldn't hang out with him. He was killing people.
Okay, well, there you have it, everybody. And look, number 5 on my list. I want to talk about this too. The impact on help seeking. The impact on help seeking. And it says the stigma surrounding therapy can deter individuals from seeking the mental health support they need, leading to delayed treatment and worsening mental health conditions. Everybody, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and I want people to keep that in mind because, listen, I'm telling me myself from my own experiences, that therapy and counseling can help you. I'm not saying you got to go sit on the bench and spill your heart out, but there are different ways that you can be counseled. On Debbie and Barb, if you don't mind calling that, they counsel me when they're on the show.
Yeah.
Probably on Debbie a little too much, but yeah, there are different ways you can be counseled. All right, so you don't have to go necessarily sit on that couch. And so I encourage everybody out there, if you are feeling that something's not quite right, well, you might just be right, and you might need to talk to someone, whether it be a professional, a friend, or even a family member. Something's telling you to speak up, and it can only help you, in my opinion. Right, guys? Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I know something told me I needed to speak up back in 2023. The last 2 years of, being here, again, like you said, it doesn't have to be sitting on somebody's couch. One of
No.
my greatest counselors or therapists was my sister,
Which one?
Fudge.
Shout out to Fudge.
She was one of my greatest ones. I actually have a professional therapist. Then I have my sister. Then I have a life coach now, actually. So, not knowing that you have, again, back to the media portrayal of therapy, and then not knowing that you do have a mental illness, just not in the way that it's portrayed as a mental illness. It keeps you away from getting the help that will help you, help you become a
100%.
better person. So I'm most certainly grateful for the fact that I broke out of that ignorant stigma of therapy. My kid's mom used to try to get me to go a long time ago, and I used to give her that same rebuttal. Therapy, I'm a therapist. What? Trying to say something wrong with
No.
me, blah 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 blah.
No.
But I
no.
applaud her at this point for even trying to get me to go way back when. But it is what it is.
And I want to say this, and Bev, maybe you could jump in on this. When it comes to the people who surrounding you, if you notice something might be a little different about a loved one, a friend, or everything, that it's okay to have a polite conversation, or mention it, or even ask, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Have you been feeling all right? How are you doing? What is your condition?"
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that, something's been off. You're not yourself lately. You don't smile as much as you used to, or you just don't have that look in your eye.
And you know what's missing the most time from that? People don't
that?
pay attention to time.
Ooh,
By
that's
the
a good
time
one.
somebody
That
tells
is a
you
good
you
one.
might need to see somebody, we're talking a significant period of time. that somebody's been paying attention to your behavior.
Well, I want to say it might not always be easy to read the signs
Mhm.
with different people. All of us are all different. So we might display trauma or things like that on the outside differently. So I think most of us mask it, if anything, and are trying to
Mhm.
hide it. So even I think for some of us, some of our close friends, relatives, what have you, I think even then it can be a little tough sometimes to know, you know.
I
But
think that when we
mhm,
when we
mhm,
tap in on time,
all
you
right,
I think that's the key that we miss. So even in the spectrum of illness, all
okay,
mental illnesses are connected to time. How long have you been
um,
struggling with this? How
right,
long have
Mhm.
this has been going on? I remember going to the doctor one time and she said, "How long have you had this respiratory infection?" And I said,
right.
"How many semesters?
Semesters,
How many
man.
semesters?" Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we don't measure time. And illness is usually described between 6 and 12 weeks. If you've
Okay,
been sad between 6 and 12 weeks, we're not talking sick sadness. We're
right,
talking depression.
right. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Since you're a professional at this, um, if I happen to notice a good friend or family member might be struggling, what are some good ways to approach them? Because it's not always a comfortable thing to do. It's not always, and in fact, that could cause you to step back and not even do it in a timely fashion, and then prolonging the illness. You know what I mean? So what are some good ways to even approach a conversation like that without insulting anybody or pushing them away? That's
It's
tough right
first
there.
is offering support. I'm noticing that
Okay,
you're not feeling good. And
okay,
how are you noticing it? I'm noticing that you're sad. I'm noticing that you're not eating. I'm noticing that you're
you're
driving.
spending a lot of time alone.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've
yeah,
seen that.
yeah. Driving around in your car all day long. What are you
Ooh.
noticing
Mm.
that's making you point it out?
Ah. Ah.
And bringing that to the table. And I've been noticing it for 12 weeks now.
Okay.
Is there something I can do to help? Can we consider
Right.
talking to somebody? You know?
Right. But even then, you still risk pushing someone away when you do that. So I guess the question then becomes: is it worth taking that risk? Um,
Absolutely.
I think I would agree.
It
If
is if you can approach. So one of the major things is trust.
Trust is a
I
good
gotta
word.
trust that I can talk to you and
Yeah.
somebody else is not gonna come to me and say, "Well, Bev said you da 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 da." Like, what? You know what? I'm never
Mm,
gonna talk to you again, and
mm,
not in that way. Of course, I'll say hello and da da da, but
yeah. Yeah.
sharing with you, that will never happen again.
Right. Right.
And I can tell you that's one of the things about an Aries, about a fire sign, period. If we give you that confidence that I'm gonna come and talk to you and say, "Hey, I split my arm because I was in a gang, blah 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 blah." I'm confiding in you, and then
Right.
somebody else come and say, "Well, Shaheem told me that you split your arm because you was in a gang." I'd be like, "Okay,
Mm,
I can't trust you now
but
because."
sometimes
yeah.
even that is necessary. If
But
you're
that.
in a
But
situation where you split your arm because of a gang and you're not willing to listen to me say, how do I get you out of this? How can I help you? I may not even have the tools you need to get out of it. So if your arm is split and
Yeah.
and we can't tell anybody, you sometimes have to love somebody enough to bring in help.
then you ask them, "Hey, how would you feel if I told Bev, or how would you feel if I told Shaheem about what you told me?" That makes a different thing. If I'm sharing, it's not easy for me. It hasn't
No.
been easy for me to share. So if I decide I'm going to share, I ran into a young lady that was like me. Yeah, me and my sister used to be real close, and then all of a sudden she don't talk to me about nothing. I said, "Did you ever make her feel like she can't talk to you?"
Yeah.
She's an Aries like me. So I said, "Did you ever?" I
I
don't care
get
when
it.
it happened. I'd be so. I don't care what. Did you ever make her feel like she can't confide in you or something? No.
Right.
First she said no, and then she said, "Well, I think it was one time I did tell such and such, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal." And then people do that. I didn't think it was that big,
Yeah. See what
but
I'm
she
saying? You
confided
run
in
that
you,
risk.
and now
Run
she
that
don't
risk.
trust you, so she's not gonna do it no more.
That's a
And that's
tough
not
space to be
that's
in.
it may be more intense as you think about it from the vantage point of being an Aries, but I think that's a for everybody. People want to be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the things that's looked for in mental health. People who
It's a.
generally don't feel like they're safe. They don't have anyone that they feel like they can confide in.
Mm,
So they try
Right.
to carry it all themselves,
as a person,
which
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
was
man.
not always the structure of our community.
No.
We had structures within our community. There were always people we could go to in every group, in every organization. There were people we could go to when we needed extra help. And I think as we become
Okay.
more educated, we no longer use those baseline structures.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I think I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? We won't use them the same way that we have in our history.
As someone that a person might be confiding in, that's a tough space to be in if you're that person. And I'll tell you why, because you want to keep their trust, right? And so you don't want to talk about what they've just revealed to you. But if they mention to you things like suicide and things like that, then you're, in my opinion, you're left with almost no
You're
choice
responsible,
but
yes.
to go and tell someone. So in that case, I say to you, the risk is worth it.
Yeah,
The risk is worth
I
it.
agree with you saying.
Now, if you just want to go shoot off your mouth to so and so, your girlfriend or whatever, that's the case where no, it's not worth running that risk. It's just too much to lose at this point. Not only are you losing the confidence that a friend gave you, but that gave you, but at the same time, you're pushing them away and therefore pushing them further into the darkness that they just told you all about. You know what I mean? If they confided in you,
Literally.
the chances are then there's not many people on that list that they
You
trust
know,
like that.
I really believe that our base emotions, anger, fear, sadness,
I feel sadness,
joy, excitement, and sexual excitement, those are our base emotions. Those are the ones that have energy.
right?
I believe when the energy says to you something is wrong,
Mm,
then you need to take an action.
right.
You're
I
talking to
agree.
your friend, you feel it on the inside of you. Ooh, something's wrong here. Then, regardless,
Okay.
because if the person is really ill, when they get better, they will understand what's happening, why you did it.
So, but let
So,
me
but here's the
go ahead,
difference
bro.
between here's the difference. If and again, I'm just using us because we are on the podcast. But
Yeah.
if I told Shaheem something and he told you, and then you come back to me saying, "Well, Shaheem told me blah blah blah," right? Again, why not ask? Hey, listen, how would you feel if I spoke to Beverly about it? You know what I mean? Or and then it's how it's brought back. If it's brought back in a malicious way, it's never gonna happen again. Oh, I will never tell Shaheem another thing
Right.
because he told you and you came back to me because we had a discussion now, and now you're using that as ammo. Well, you're the one had needed a therapist for da 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 da. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's like, well,
mm,
you know what I mean? Like, oh,
mm,
wait a minute. Well, only one person could have told you that, and that's Shaheem, because Shaheem's the only one I told. And
mm.
so now that trust factor is gone. I don't have the trust to speak to him the same way I would have spoken to him before.
So
So
then,
that's what.
so what I hear you saying is, so the person that the person that the person who's got the problem is confiding in has to understand their responsibility
Right.
and not feel like it's cotton candy you can share with everybody in the neighborhood.
Right.
Right.
It has to be. It has to have some value to it, and identifying that value so you can actually get help. But if you feel like you're sharing it just because and that does happen. Information is power. So people do share sometimes just because they have information. They want other people to know, well, I know something about him.
So and so, yeah. I agree 100%.
So that does happen, and we have to learn, when we're dealing with that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Not.
Well, I have two more things on this list of mine. Two more that contributes to the stigma. Number 6 on my list is discrimination, isolation. And what it says is stigma can lead to discrimination and isolation, making it difficult for people to openly discuss their mental health struggles and seek help. And the last one says self-stigma, and that's a big one. Individuals may internalize negative social beliefs about mental health, leading to self-stigma and reduced self-esteem. There's a thing, and it's not just in our community. It's men. Let's talk about that. That if you are someone in need of help like that, that you are weak. That you are thought of as being a weak individual. You can't handle it. You can't handle it. And you are demoralized as a man.
Fortunately, that is changing.
It is changing slowly. It's changing. It is changing. These kids today are different from the world that we grew up in. They're growing up in a different environment. But it's changing slowly. I will say this.
The history. So much of our mental health is non-verbally wrapped into our history as African Americans.
Okay.
The history of that was that the man could not get help. He could not be overwhelmed because his life depended on it.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out if we need to carry that forward.
But also, let me speak for me. Also, there's a thing in through my experiences where you have this thing where the family is also looking at you. When I say the family, I mean your wife, your kids. You all look at as the source of strength in that household. Now, it doesn't mean that you're running over your wife. That's not what I'm talking about. But when things hit the fan, seriously, you're looked at as the one to be the strong one and protect everybody. I think that might even almost be a natural feeling. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
I think that's true.
Okay.
But I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
I get that.
But I don't think it's right because no one person can be the strength for everybody. That's part of what seeds the illness.
Okay, but then there's, like I said, there's also a natural aspect of it. We are human beings, but we are human animals. And in nature, I will say, the man, not always in all species, of course, as we all know, but in the majority of species, the males are the protectors, are they not?
Nope.
No? You disagree?
In the elephant kingdom, it's not.
Now, I said not all.
In the
Lion Kingdom is not. In the Tiger Kingdom is not.
What is true?
I think I misunderstand what I'm saying. I didn't say
kingdom,
providers.
There are no dads.
I didn't say providers. I said protectors.
No, in the animal kingdom, so penguins are dads because the male penguins are the ones that incubate the eggs once the egg is out of the mom, and they're the ones that do everything for the egg until the penguin hatches.
She returns from
right,
my understanding
it's a
shared experience.
She goes out.
Yeah, I get that part of it.
So again, not all of them, but for the most part, the male just procreates and keep it moving. That's why you have a whole bunch of different. That's why they fight for their species.
But if there's a threat
or their blood is
to
what
the
they call
species,
it.
the male is the one that usually steps up to protect, not provide. I understand that in lion species, the females provide and they do all that. But when the hyenas come, they're looking for the males. You know what I mean? The males are, and I'm saying this as a natural thing. I'm not now as the reason why there's that aspect of our thinking is what I'm saying as men. Why we need to be strong. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want to go into a whole thing about the animal kingdom because it's not
Right.
but just the thought of men being the strength in the household. And so because of that stigma and other men looking at you, because we're always testing each other. I think probably to the day they were dead. We're always testing each other. We're always prodding. We're always poking. You know, we're always poking fun at each other. And so looking for weaknesses. I'm being very honest.
But is that stigma because it's there naturally or because we're embedded with it culturally?
With the condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Then we go
so
back
some of it
back
is
to
a
the condition.
conditioning that we were embedded with. And even if we look at our music, if we look at the difference in how men were portrayed in music 50 years ago and how they're portrayed in music now, the culture has changed. So they get a different view. You know what I'm saying?
World. It's definitely a different world. That's what I was saying, that these young people, they're more used to saying, well, because of the way they're coming up, they're better adjusted to the idea of speaking up or speaking to counselors or seeking help when they need it. I think they even start that as early as in a lot of high schools. They start that in their heads. That if
and
you need
there's
help,
also the other side of that.
What's that?
Because they're so exposed, they're working so hard to destigmatize it. We have young girls and they circle up. They doing circle time. Well, I have depression, and I can't
okay. I got what you're saying. Yeah. Everything's got there's a name for everything. Yeah, I got it.
You know, you're like, girls say, well, all my friends have a diagnosis. What's my diagnosis?
So how you find a balance? How and where do you find a balance in all of this?
Bring it into your life. When we're out of balance, it's because we've generalized something. It's no longer. It's because that generalization thing, man, it messes everything up. How's it happening in your life? How's it happening with the people you know?
I agree 100%. Me myself, you know, I got more comfortable actually with the idea of counseling as I got older. And that was, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, because it was a tough thing for me. Even to talk to Aunt Debbie was a tough thing for me. But little by little, and it's got to start somewhere. Let me say that to everybody watching. It's got to start somewhere. You ain't got to sit down and have a whole hour-long conversation, but start somewhere. A conversation of a few minutes can get you on the way of just opening up, get you used to that idea. But so slowly but surely, I started noticing that by having these conversations, that not only was I feeling better, but things were getting better. Things were actually getting better. My overall view of life, of myself, was started getting better. And of course, what follows that? You're gonna feel better. You are going to feel better, everybody.
That's right. You know, we used to have men's meeting, the quilting club,
wow. Yeah,
the sister. You know, I remember one of the favorite times in my life was when we used to get our hair pressed.
Ooh,
getting our hair pressed. It was never just one woman and a child. The sisters would come together and we would be, you know, we little girls sitting there listening to folks and saying, what?
Same thing at the barbershop. This was our therapy, right?
This was our time.
This was our
time. Open up about the truth about what was going on in our lives. When we didn't have mental health counselors, you know, in Africa, in parts of Africa, let me say it that way, they have mental health counselors who they sit on benches. They just sit outside on a bench, and people just can meet them there and have conversations about what's going on in their lives. The best therapy is you being able to be with people. You being able to be, and what makes it so effective is the being able to be honest.
I
If
agree
you can be
100%.
honest about what you're feeling, if you
Yes,
can
you
be
can.
honest about what you're experiencing. And a lot of us don't have, like we used to, places to be honest.
Mm,
So we
well
hide
said.
from ourselves and we hide from other people.
Well
Yep.
said. Well said. Get over the shame. Get
You
over the
know,
shame of opening up and tell your story. Trust me, there are things happening in everybody's lives.
every,
Everybody's lives.
if it ain't happening, it ain't real.
But so you take the child that unfortunately was raped or molested by a father or a stepfather or even a mom or uncle, and then they come and they tell, and then they're told, "Stop lying. You know what you
Oh,
talk
that's a tough
about.
one.
You're lying." You're
That's a
not going
tough
to open up again. Now, I done showed you that adults are not going to believe kids.
But as you become an adult, you get to speak out.
Yeah, but
That's a good
Speaking
point.
out as
what
an
I'm
adult
saying,
Good
makes a
point.
difference.
absolutely, I 100% agree. But what I'm just speaking for those that go through that sort of thing.
Yes.
They got to learn that they can talk to adults, and so we figure out, they were children once. They grew up. They're still that child that don't know how to talk to adults. That don't know how to open up because the two times I did as a kid, the adults told me I was lying. The adults told me, this was that, whatever the case may be. I even went to my teacher and told the teacher, and the teacher said, "Why would you say that about your parents?" Or blah blah blah.
Mm,
Now
mm,
who am I trusting? Now
that's
I'm a
tough.
full. Not, and again, folks, it's not me. I'm just saying. um,
Right,
Now who am I trusting
right, right,
as an adult?
right,
Now
right.
I know I'm an adult. And I'm not gonna go around saying, "Hey, you can trust me. Hey, you got a secret? You can tell me if you need
Mm,
to." I'm the one you can tell. You know what I mean? But I'm not trusting no adults because I tried it as a kid, and so conditioning has brought me to a point where it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna say anything. And again, folks that's viewing the show, is not me. I'm using the platform
But you know
as
what
a.
mm.
does bring you to talk about it? The condition of your life.
All right.
When you
Okay.
have a trauma that has not been dealt with, the condition of your life continues to deteriorate around you. You have trouble in your work environment. You have
Mhm.
trouble in your
You do.
relationships. You have
Mm,
internal struggles that no matter what you do, you can't get over.
right.
And just being honest about them and having someone you can tell what the thought is, because sometimes the thought itself is not the truth. We keep telling ourselves over and over and over again that I can't talk to anybody. That is not the truth. There are
Mm,
people who get paid, and this is the job I couldn't do if I didn't get paid. Couldn't do it. Have to be doing something else so I can pay my lights and my water and my phone bill. So and there are people who built for this. I was built for this. People say something
Thank
to me
God. Thank God for
and
people
it
like me.
just shifts and I have to come back to it. Oh
I
yeah,
think.
you used to say that, didn't you? Not because I was forget, but because I've learned how to file things away so that I'm not carrying them around in my mind and in my experience all the time.
Thank God for people like you.
Yeah, it's help
Eh,
out there. That
man,
I
because
think
if
that's
I
the
if
one
I
thing
was a
I want to end.
therapist, with for hearing some of these people talk about what they're going through, I sit there like, oh.
And you and do you know what I tell the
What
people who
the?
come into my office? You did the hardest work. You
You
did the
came
hardest
in.
work by yourself.
Okay, I got you.
You
I got you.
survived it without
I got you.
anybody.
I got
You get the kudos. So now all we got to
you.
do is figure out how to put these things in line
Right.
and in order so that you know that they're there and we can go on from there. We don't want to be pretending they're not there. We
Right.
want to deal with them because once we deal with them, it makes life better.
Here we go. Here we go. That's why we love having Bev on the show. She's got all the good advice for you guys. Well, I'm gonna be breaking it down in a few minutes, guys. So I'm just gonna put it out there. Before we start rolling up out of here, do you guys have any last words that you like to give, or last pieces of advice that you like to give our audience out there, to everybody watching?
Get the help you need. If you're
Ooh.
troubled, if you're disappointed, I think disappointment is the number one, is a real issue. You don't have to be heartbroken. But if you keep hitting the wall and you can't figure out why you can't get past this, you can't figure out why you keep stubbing your toe, you keep hitting your knee on the edge of the table, get the help.
Get
Help is available.
help. Get the help you need.
I,
That's what
I
I'm
I
saying.
would say the same thing. Absolutely. Stop being stubborn. Now this is about me. I stopped being stubborn and I took the step to get therapy and to speak to a life coach and open
Good
up
for you,
more.
first of all. Let me say that.
You know, I've opened up on this podcast. So those are therapeutic steps for me to
It's
open
true.
up,
But I
Yeah,
want to
good
make
on
a
point.
this
difference.
podcast.
Can I make a difference right here that's really important? A
Mm-hmm.
life coach's job is to take you from where you are to where you want to be. A therapist's job is to deal with the things that are behind you that keep you from being able to move forward. They are really two different things, and they effectively do two different kinds
Two
of work.
different, absolutely, they do.
Can I get a shout in real quick before we go?
Absolutely.
100%.
In Panama City, Florida, on 4/26, that's Saturday morning, from 10 o'clock to 11:30, I'm going to be doing the training on self-hypnosis. The purpose of the training is to help people deal with this overwhelm that's going on in the community around them. All of the things that are happening in the news, we don't know how to deal with it. If you attend the training, I'm going to teach you how to use self hypnosis as a way of bringing calm and comfort to what's happening in the world you live in so you can go on a little far.
Oh, wow. All right.
They can
Or 26.
RSVP me by calling me 850-532-6406, texting me 850-532-6406, or emailing me at Beverly Brown at Renew Hypnosis.
All right.
Okay? So they
Absolutely.
look me up. They can find me.
Y'all better go look up, Bev.
Yeah.
Y'all better go let her help you. Get the help you need. All right, boom. And boom, in fact, you got something coming up, I think, just before Mother's Day, right?
Yeah, I have the Shush and Eat Crab Feast coming up on May 10th, the day before Mother's Day. People have started buying tickets. I'm telling y'all, these tickets are going quick, especially the early birds. The early bird ends on April 20th. So if you're gonna buy the early bird ticket, you better get it now because April 20th is over. That means on Sunday, it is done. Any tickets after that will be regular price. So get your tickets, come on out and enjoy the festivities. 3 DJs. Um, and I'm putting on a show for the first half of the event. It's a tribute to Luther Vandross. So
Oh,
that is a part
Shout out
of
to
the show.
Luther.
So if you can make it down, if wife want to drive down, if y'all want to come on and hang out, let me know. We'll make something move, and get you guys in there and come on and enjoy the show.
There you go. Go check that out, everybody. It's going to be a good time. For sure.
Working hard behind the scenes. Working hard behind the scenes.
As always. As always. And as for me, everybody, I just want to say, as far as our topic and the stigma behind therapy, I would say to everyone out there, if you feel that you might need to talk to someone, baby steps. Walk in my shoes, baby steps. You don't have to just go lay down on that couch for an hour. Talk to someone. Start the process. Just get used to opening up, and you'll see how far it'll take you and how much it will help you. How about that? And continue to watch the show. I can't say that enough.
For sure.
Also, real quick, before we get up out of here, for everything that's happening in Shaheem world, don't forget to go to therealshaheem.com. You can pick up all of my music, everybody, and on my YouTube channel. Also, my online store, Hazy Trades, I shut that down temporarily, everybody, because it's going through a rebranding phase. So you're not going to be able to get it, but it will be back soon. I also want to say, even though Aunt Debbie's not here, make sure you go check out visioncarriers.com.
Absolutely.
everybody.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I was supposed to put this picture in the group real quick to show what Aunt Debbie is up to right now. Let me go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Log me in. Log me in. Let's go. I was gonna say any other time it's moving fast as I don't know what, but now I want to move super slow. Yeah.
Well,
Where did the picture go?
boom, we about to get up out of here.
Don't worry about it.
Well, so it's bring it up next week, man. We'll be back, and we want everybody to come
So-
back to see it.
We'll be back.
All right, I want to say thank you to our co-host Beverly Brown for filling in for Debbie today, right, boom?
As always, thank you so much for having me. I love hanging out with this part of my family.
Absolutely. We love having
Thank
you.
you so much. Yeah, we love having you. Thank you so very much. Now, to everybody out there, we got to let you go so we can get to our weekend. So everybody out there, enjoy the rest of your weekend, all right? And we'll see you back here for another episode of From the Shore to Be More. From the heart for the culture. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
On a lovely day.